there, everyone. This is Christine Padovan, the Paladina, and want to go over something that I've had 2 reporters so far ask me to do an interview of, and I haven't had the chance yet to be on the air. I believe, it looks like I'm going to be on the air tomorrow, to kind of mention this about household plants and stuff. And this article, and you'll see all the links to all these articles below. There's an article that has now come out. Let me just pull it up from a place called studyfinds.org. And this is a company out of Australia, and they are called Ambius. And they're making, now you have to understand this, they are a company, this is a commercial company, they make a wall full of live plants, and they're installing it in businesses and homes, saying that, oh, natural plants soak up all the harmful chemicals in the air to save us from getting cancer down the road. Now, here's the problem with this, okay? Now, and here's another issue I do want to mention. I had a reporter, I'm not going to mention the station because I don't want to embarrass anybody, who had texted me. She also emailed me this morning. I was coming out of the studio, completing a voice job, and now most reporters, whether they have texted me for 30 minutes, an hour, if it's an hour or so later, they're not normally wanting an interview immediately. They want it later, either later, much later in the day, or the next day. They're not looking for me to answer something off the fly immediately. They wanted me to answer. She didn't say what her deadline was. She just said, whatever is available for you today. And I said, okay, now I'm ready. Got done with something. We can talk anytime. She then tells me, oh, well, we had this deadline, so we just did a read-up of the article on the air. This is very upsetting because I wasn't allowed to answer as an expert, and I even texted her back and emailed her back saying that I was not going to recommend this because the independent science has been there for many years regarding indoor plants and the amount of toxins that they absorb in terms of cleaning the air from VOCs, from smoke, air pollution, and all of that. And you would need a room full of plants, floor to ceiling, to even have a dent in absorbing all the potential toxins inside our home, mold, mildew, whatever. And actually, here's the other issue that I have with this Ambius company doing this. Number one, they claimed that they partnered with a University of Technology of Sydney, University of Technology Sydney, UTS, and they collaborated together to see about, and now this is a plantscaping solutions company. This is what they call themselves, right? And you have to understand, they're selling a product. It's live plants fitted on some sort of wall system. Because the other thing that was actually pointed out to me from a colleague of mine, she's a renowned toxicologist, can't right now publicly speak because she's got all sorts of crap going on to her, and you know what's going on in the world. Us truth speakers get dinged for pointing out the fallacies in certain stuff going on in the world. Even pointed out to me that she would be concerned about the amount of mold that when you have the pot leaning on a wall, touching a wall, and you're watering the plant, the mold is going to grow behind that pot on the wall, and the potential mold issues that you then have from having all these live plants on a wall. So that's another thing to point out. But here's my thing. when you're looking at this article, and this is the other thing I pointed out in the email and in text to this reporter, I said, this has not been third-party validated at all. I said, if you look at all the independent science over the years about how much do plants really absorb, spider plants are really great for doing toxins, but it's not, you're talking about a room, you're talking about a whole house. Plants are great. My parents grew up on farms. We had a 3.5 acre property. We had a garden. We had fruit trees. We had flowers. We had all sorts of beautiful plants. We had plants inside. We had angel plants. We had all sorts of wonderful plants. Plants are great for you. There is no question of that. But having to say that a plant can absorb all these cancer-causing toxins and keep you safe from cancer when you're just a company selling the product, number one. And number two, this testing is done in the lab where they have the plants enclosed in a glass box, right? It's encased in a glass box in a small space. And then they're just pumping in through the hole, in the sealed hole, the toxins. What's a plant going to do? It's in a tight little space. The only thing it can do is absorb whatever you're pumping into it. It has to do that. In a huge room, a huge office, a huge home, you're going to say your small wall system of plants is going to clean the air, the open air, effectively? And how are you going to address the mold, possible mold that is occurring behind the containers of the plant on the wall? And what if your dog Fido or your cat Fifi eats some of those plants and those plants are toxic to your pets? I was really unhappy that this reporter decided that, and I'm sure it's probably a young reporter, that they just don't know how to tell their boss, hey, we need to, validate this, or I need the expert to validate this, and not just say this on the air as if this is God speaking and this is true. I was really unhappy about this. And as most people know, especially what's been going on, and Australians, they're really smart people. Most of the majority of the world, you guys are smart people. And they've been right through the coals with their, political system, with what happened with the pandemic, being told that, the CV mandates with the shots were, oh, you needed to do that to prevent COVID, and that was not true, and we know there's toxins in the shots and all that other stuff. This is absolutely ridiculous that you're telling people, this company is saying that they verified this. This is not third-party verified. I don't see any data. I don't have measurements. There is nothing here. Even the release of the statement, if you look in the article, there's a university release, and you go to the university release, and there's still no measurement. There is no measurement to say it took away X amount of pounds per square inch or per square foot. You need a measurement, okay? When you do a science study, there is a measurement. And on the NASA technology, we've been talking about this in several videos, there is this ActivePure technology that NASA had to figure out, how are we going to keep the toxicity from the plants when they're absorbing the oxygen inside the space station, when they're growing food, and you can't open the outdoor hatch of the space station because, they're in space, right? They needed a solution to be able to absorb whatever the plants are releasing, so then that's not going to choke off. That's not going to choke off the people inside the space station. So so you can't, this is not a viable solution. And this is a terrible, this is just a marketing. This is like a false advertising type of ploy. And I really hope some of these businesses that have been putting this in Australia do some third-party testing and say, okay, well, how much, spray some VOC, cleaning product or something, by the plant, and do a measurement, do an air quality control measurement to see really how much is that plant really absorbing in this huge open space, to say, can you quantify that plant really, 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 really is taking out all the smoke and the other particles that are being burnt. Say we're talking about the fires. That's what they were wanting to talk to me about. Should people just buy a bunch of plants to clear the air in their home from all the pollution outside? And the answer is no. I mean, you want to get a couple plants. It's great mental health, and yes, it does do some healthy stuff for you. Yeah, but not to the point that it's going to take care of that massive amount of air pollution outside your home. And certainly to get a wall full of plants with all the other issues of whether any of those plants are toxic for your pets to chew on, and the amount of moisture that you're going to have in terms of keeping them going, and the possibility of any mold or anything, accumulating behind the system, you're better off spending the $800 on an air and surface pro unit from Velara with the ActivePure technology in it, because that takes care of the mold, that takes care of the bacteria, that takes care of any VOCs, and they've tested that. They've done third-party validation testing because NASA had to have that solution, because they're in an enclosed space, they're in an enclosed chamber in space. So think about that. Think about that. You're better off spending the money on that with a proven solution to take care of any pollution that's coming in, versus getting a wall of plants. That is not, I can tell just from reading this article, that this is not third-party verified. It's terrible. It's terrible to even have to be doing a video on this to answer this. But I just know some people, they look at this and they say, oh, the university said it. Oh, this is going to be true. No, I even had somebody, and I have to answer these questions all the time, who threw out this comment to me saying that coffee enemas increase glutathione production in the body by 800%. No, that is not a true statement, and there's science behind that, proving that wrong. That's a fallacy. So please, 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 people, don't go out and buy this Ambius system or buy a bunch of big plants to throw into your apartment or throw into your home to say, oh, I'll just get a bunch of plants instead of getting any air purifiers or anything for my home or apartment. There is even, the company makes a personal unit, a mobile unit, for if you have a cubicle at work or an office space at work, it can clear like a 50 square foot space around you. If you're on a plane or a train, that unit can do that for you in a small amount of space, if that is your concern. I would do that, spend the $120 or whatever on that, versus getting a bunch of plants for my office or my business. But if I have a business, no, I'm not. I want some plants, because those are beautiful, and that's nature, and that makes you feel good, and that does do some air clearing. But to say it's going to absorb all cancer-causing pollutants and not have a measurement, that would take years of study, and you can't do that in an environment. Putting the plant in an enclosed cube, in an enclosed space, and say, wow, look at that, plants are the answer to this problem right now, with all the chemical fires going on out there, the wildfires and all that stuff. No, that's not the answer. And it's still for detoxifying. If you're going to have those in your body and you're concerned about cancer and you're concerned about all that stuff, you're going to need to get on glutathione to get those toxins out of you. Okay? I mean, those small amount of plants in your home, that is not a guarantee. That is not a guarantee that those toxins are still not going to get to you, still not to get into your body. If you've got headaches or nausea, vomiting, any of that, the dizziness, nausea, vomiting, headaches, especially from breathing in toxicity, got to get on the glutathione and get that stuff pulled out of you, because it's too late for, even if you had a room full of plants, especially spider plants, because those are really good for absorbing some toxins out of the air. Even if you had a room full, the science isn't there to support this commercial company putting out this information and making it out that all people need to do is buy a wall full of plants. That's my message for you today, and I just want to get that out there, and just be aware of this kind of thing. And sorry about that. Felt something there. I will speak to you soon. Please, I just want to also give a message that we are on Roku TV, on the Awake Freedom TV channel. It is free to download, but if you click the link here, right in the beginning of the video description, supporting that channel to help it grow to Amazon Fire TV and Apple TV, and it also gives us the ability to support each other in a way that everybody can be making a little bit of money, not just putting stuff out there. Dave Cheney has done a lot of work getting that channel going, getting truthful information that is suppressed on mainstream media to you, to everyone in North America who has Roku. And I'm not sure if there's a way to get Roku TV working outside North America. There's some articles out there on that supposedly you can do that. But anyway, this is the kind of information that you can get that is not normally on mainstream media. Now, I will be answering, I think there's a couple of reporters that I'm going to, on Sirius XM and a couple other places where I'm going to talk about this. And I'm going to say the same thing I'm telling you, that there is no science supporting what this company, Ambius, is saying. And none of this is quantifiable. None of the data has been released by this university to support what they're saying. And so can't go telling people to get a wall full of plants and you're going to be fine. Okay? Thank you so much. I love you all, and stay well and stay blessed.